Thank you very much, Sharia. Respected panelists, I was assigned a question, and that is that why policies failed despite so much investment and lots of work. So I'll be talking from a perspective of a practitioner, and this is my 30th year, and I work in different conflict areas. So I'll try to briefly touch those avenues, that why, what is my experience, that why policies, despite the fact that very fancy policies, and when implemented on grounds, that why people or those all who were working, was that the flaw of the policy or was there? So this blame game, that remains confined within the corridors. It's very difficult to answer this within a short time, and this is very difficult question. Apparently, this seems very simple question. Even well-designed and research policies are usually underperformed in the conflict areas. Like, people do talk about conflict, but my question to all those who are talking about conflict, that how, if they are working in theoretical perspective or in the research perspective or practitioner's perspective, what is their first-hand experience when talking in a very safe environment about conflict? So what is their exposure to that's my, the take that I shall leave over here. That's the prime reason. As you are all aware that such all policies are usually drafted at power centers, at the capitals. 5 capitals, there it's usually drafted, and many of those, they may not be aware of the geographical, cultural or ethnic dynamics that, so these are over optimistic assumptions whenever the new policies are coming over here. And then obviously the weak coordination amongst the planners and the implementers. Then the most important that I observed in a number of Pakistani policies, that's the clearly defined timelines. When, who, how, कैसे होगा, कब होगा, कौन करेगा, और नहीं करेगा तो उससे पूछ-पूछ कैसे होगी. ये एक जो है political instability and different sets of political governments in after 9/11 during last 25 years, and different sets of government within the federating units. Because every political party has its own political manifesto, and in democracy, every party has the right. So that's one of the main. So political parties also needs to understand that the national security or internal security is not to be given only a very restricted political context. That is to be interpreted within a very a holistic manner, I believe. Another point is that the power of the status quo, those who have the monopolies. For instance, I'll give you the example of the Maliks in former FATA and in Sardars in the B areas, particularly in Balochistan. Sir rightly pointed out about the Balochistan. Those who enjoy monopoly, they always oppose such nice. In case of Balochistan, we reversed, and now we are repenting, what happened over there. But the good part, since 2018 and onwards, is Pakistan is very much strict to its FATA reforms, the 25th Amendment. To me, the 25th Amendment is the right step in the constitutionally. It's a step in right direction. And then another is the communities. Usually, communities जो होती हैं वो अपने short-term objectives को देखती हैं. For instance, in Malakand, the communities, they'll see the non-custom paid vehicles, or in Balochistan, in certain areas, they look into, if they are asking for development, but if someone is not paying the revenue, that how a policy can be, if you want to convert a policy initiative into action, you need funds, and the donors, they always not be available. So you need to generate revenue. So if you are opposing revenue collection, for instance, as I told you, NCPs, non-custom freight vehicles in Gilgit-Baltistan or in certain parts of two provinces, and then coordination mechanism and the enforcement part, the interagency, like the communication, and the very important is like our plans are not adapted. Like Sir Adnan pointed out here, the National Action Plan 1-2, my submission is like post-US withdrawal context needs another, the redefining of the, like in post-APS context, we came with a reactive mode, and then we got, my question is, had there not been the APS incident, what would have been the fate of this National Action Plan? Kya ye aata, National Action Plan? And then someone told us that it is a mixture of all. So we need to make it some distinction between, so 9 points up jo hai, the good point is, like the second National Action Plan jo hai, that is like non-kinetic jo hai. So now gradually, this is a very good step that Pakistan's state realized that we need to invest more in non-kinetic, and that's a very good point that we are over here, we are relating peace and development. Another very important point that I would like to emphasize, I'll take 1 or 2 minutes more. One is like the local government. Our constitution is very clear in 18th Amendment, and that is Article 140A. 140A says, if we are just shuttling in between the federal and the provincial governments, and you don't have the placement of local governments, if local governments are not there, I believe the peace will remain confined within the restricted corridors. We have, every province is having the local government laws, and it is obligatory under the constitution that every province is supposed to have district governments. And when we talk about district governments, so we are not only assigning them the political offices, the councillors or the neighborhood councillors, but we are assigning them some responsibility as well towards the community. And then the most important is the real-time feedback, absence of the real-time feedback. Feedback nahi hota. I just go all you see our the official websites are very static and very bureaucratic, I should say. And then lastly, our plans are very much bureaucratic. Are these plans having worked to the real challenge, or it's having the value of the bureaucracy sitting behind that plan? I believe, like for instance, Adnan is an expert in certain areas. So why not his voice along with the bureaucratic voice? So I believe it's the right time that we need to realize that what is the worth of the experts. Experts are to be valued as well. And lastly, I have many points to discuss, but I will not do it at the cost of others. But I really appreciate this very good initiative, and I hope these the young boys and girls that you are looking forward, we would like to see them on Pakistani roads and streets as ambassadors of peace. Thank you very much.